Hi guys, another video from Stupid is the Norm, a channel where we demonstrate how to become a millionaire in 10 years whilst earning only minimum wage. And in this video I want to answer the question, what is debt? Now when I mention the word debt, most people will think about consumer debt. Consumer debt being things like credit cards, store cards and personal loans. Some of these of which can have interest rates of over 20%. It's called consumer debt, by the way, because it consumes your income. I define consumer debt as spending your future income today in return for a short-lived pleasure causing you long-term pain. It's essentially promising the lender that you will work for them sometime in the future in order to repay the debt. That is, you will take some of the earnings you're going to make in the future and allocate some of it to repay the debt long after you've forgotten what you borrowed the money for in the first place. The Money Charity says that in 2024, the average person has £1,308 of credit card debt. Now, if this is you, I'd ask you a question. Can you actually remember what you spent every one of those pounds on? Well, of course you can't. And also, if you're only working minimum wage, it would take you 2 weeks to actually repay all the debt. And that's assuming it's on 0% credit, which is unlikely to be the case. All of that consumer debt is generally used to buy stuff that has little or no value, or at least it's reducing in value, which means that you can't even sell whatever it was you bought in order to repay the lender because it's lost its value. There's not enough worth in it. Consumers use consumer debt to consume. There is another type of debt though. It's called investor debt or leverage. It's called leverage because a lever allows you to move a heavy object disproportionate to the amount of effort it takes to move it. So it is with leverage using debt. You can use leverage to get a disproportionate return on the money you invest. Let's take an example. Let's say you bought a nice 3-bed terraced house in a nice part of the northeast for £80,000. With acquisition costs and deposit, it'll probably cost you £25,000 or so. And let's assume that property goes up by 10%, that's £8,000, and you've put £25,000 in, and it's gone up by £8,000 in that year. That means you have got a 32% return on that £25,000. Now, there's not a bank or another investment vehicle in the UK going to give you a 32% return on your money. And you don't have to worry about paying the interest on the loan because you have a tenant in there and their rent is paying the interest on your behalf, of course. And ultimately what happens is when you, after the 25-year term or whatever term you have on the property, you sell the property, you repay the debt, and then you walk away whatever capital growth you've accrued over that time. And as in most things with investment, especially with property, it comes down to a simple question. Which would you rather? Would you rather be a consumer or an investor? Would you rather pay 20% or would you rather earn 32%? It's your decision. Don't be stupid and don't be normal, guys.